Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the dungeon. This is Pillar to Post. I am your host, Pete Wall, and today I deliver my Lucha Underground report. Now, last night's show was all about the title belt of Lucha Underground. It was Johnny Mundo, who is your Lucha Underground champion, versus the MACK. Now, at first I was a little bit concerned because I heard it was going to be basically an Iron Man match throughout the whole entire show. But then as the rules were kind of read out by the commentators, which are Vampiro and Matt Stryker, I kind of started liking the idea a little bit more because it wasn't going to be just a straight up Iron Man match. There's going to be hardcore elements, and always with Lucha Underground, you can always expect the unexpected, and that did occur last night. Now, before we get going, I would like to give a shout out to my sponsors, who are Audible. Now, you can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free subscription by visiting the link I provide, www.audibletrial.com/pillar2post. Now, they have over 180,000 titles to choose from, as well as a multiple genres to choose from as well. You have your fantasy fiction, your science fiction, your romance, your mystery, you name it, they have it. Autobiographies, if you want wrestling-related autobiographies. AJ Lee just recently published her book, Crazy is My Superpower, as well as Justin Roberts just published his. So there is a lot of stuff to choose from. There's children's books. There's everything you can ask for at audible.com. Simply follow the link I provide to you in the description below. Like I said, it was www.audibletrial.com/pillar2post. Now let's get back to Lucha Underground. Now, I missed it last night, so I had to catch it today. I was a little bit disappointed on that. I wanted to do the review show last night after I delivered the NXT review. But it is what it is, and I still am bringing you new content when it comes to wrestling. I'm going to be honest. When I first watched an episode of Lucha Underground, I wasn't a fan. I only caught the one match, and I discriminated against it a little bit too soon. Now, the only match I caught before last night was a match between a woman and a guy, and I can't remember who they were. And I couldn't quite grasp that concept, men versus women. It just doesn't seem plausible. It doesn't seem like equal ground, equal footing between the two. You know, it just the intergender matches. It just seemed odd to me. But I recently started watching Lucha Underground from Season 1 because now it is available on Netflix. So I figured give it a good shot, start from Season 1, Episode 1, and work my way up, and as well as watch currently what's going on now. And I have to say it has become a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine to check out Lucha Underground. And I figured start doing some Lucha Underground reports for you all to let you, let those that aren't watching currently in on this new program. Now, it is in its third season, and last night was the mid-season premiere, and it was dubbed All Night Long. And why? Because it was an Iron Man match between Johnny Mundo versus the MACK for the Lucha Underground Championship. So, I'm going to go through my notes here because there was a lot. And it was a fun match. It was brilliantly done. I want to say this before I get into the match itself. WWE screwed up by letting Johnny Mundo / Johnny Nitro go. Now I understand he's reinvented himself since becoming a part of Lucha Underground, but really his character hasn't changed all too much. So it really goes to show you how badly WWE misuses their stars. And Johnny Mundo was a star while he was there. He was a great tag team champion, and he would have become a great world champion, or what they have now is WWE champion and Universal champion. He would have been awesome. Everyone's seen it back then. He had that charisma, he had the talent, he had the skills, and he had the mic skills as well. Now, sometimes he came off a little bit flat on the mic. He still does sometimes, but that can be with anyone. What he does in that ring is a testament to how much WWE has lost grip on their talent and their potential to make a star out of a talent. Johnny Mundo could have been that star. They fucked it up. Underground, Lucha Underground, is making sure they take care of Johnny Mundo, and it shows when he's in that ring in Lucha Underground. So moving on. The temple is back up and running. Mariachi band strikes up their tunes. Matt Striker and Vampiro are at ringside. And the intro and hype this week's show, Striker goes through the rules for the Lucha Underground title. The luchador with the most pinfalls and submissions by the end of the show will be the champion. Melissa Santos is also back, and she introduces both contestants. Johnny Mundo is your current Lucha Underground champion, world champion I should say, and the MACK is the #1 contender. Now, Matt Striker starts off things on commentary by being just, like Matt Striker. And if you don't like Matt Striker, you got issues with you, because Matt Striker on commentary is really, really good. He does a great job on Lucha Underground. I appreciate that they put him in that position, and he is one of the reasons why I like the way Lucha Underground works. He does a great job calling the match. Now, he goes over the Mack and Mundo's finishers. He calls Mack's stunner a closed quarters move. The Mack takes the fight to Mundo early and corners him with strikes. The crowd is red hot during this. Mack floors Mundo with a stiff lariat, and he follows that up with a gutbuster and attempts the match's first pinfall. Now, Mundo kicks out but takes more punishment from Mack afterwards. Vampiro on commentary starts being like the Vampiro we all know. He uses an analogy of the Mack being a gas station attendant who makes minimum wage. Now, Johnny Mundo starts to rally and hits the Moonlight Drive for a near fall. Striker and Vampiro are now talking about Lex Luger and the conditioning needed to wrestle this match. I don't understand really why they brought up Lex Luger, but it was an analogy to show how much training you need to go through to actually compete in an Iron Man match like these guys did tonight, and it is an extreme workout that they go through. Now, Mundo and Mack battle to the top rope. They trade blows, and Mundo uses cool evasive tactics to scale the ring post. Moments later, Mundo strikes Mack off the top rope and hits the End of Worlds for the match's first pinfall. So, your first pinfall goes to Johnny Mundo. So he's one up in the contest, and it continues. But we go to break first, and Mundo, when we come back, Mundo goes for a leg lariat, but gets hit with a modified Uranagi by Mack for a near fall. Mack stays on the offensive and hits a running cannonball in the corner, and Johnny and Mack get into a battle of striking, and Mundo wins out with a stiff martial arts kick. It grounds the Mack, and Mundo takes the air with a springboard leg lariat. Vampiro and Matt are talking about mortgages now for some damn reason. I didn't quite understand that. And no wonder Vince was always in Matt's ear. Yes, I can kind of understand that. They veer off in weird subjects sometimes. Now, Mundo gets a beautiful Mahistral cradle on the Mack and uses the ropes for leverage to score another pinfall. So your second pinfall also goes to Johnny Mundo, and he pins the Mack for a 2 pinfall victory. So the match continues. Now, moments after the second fall, the Mack rallies. He sends Mundo to the outside and dives over the top onto him, which if you've seen the match, what this big guy does in that ring and how he can fly over that top rope is a testament to how agile some of these big guys are in Lucha Underground. It is impressive to watch. Now, MACK then hits a real nice looking hanging neck breaker off the apron. Looks sick, looked like it hurt Johnny Mundo pretty bad. And the MACK takes Mundo inside the ring and attempts to pin him, but is unsuccessful once again. Now, MACK hits a release exploder suplex on Johnny, and Mundo rolls to the outside and tries a springboard crossbody, but gets caught in midair and powerbomb for the MACK's very first pinfall of the match. So it is now 2-1, Johnny Mundo in the lead. Now we go to another commercial break, and when we come back, Johnny Mundo has retaken control of the match by sending MACK into the corner turnbuckle face first. Now Johnny starts to taunt and mock the MACK and the believers in the temple. MACK reverses a suplex and covers Mundo for a near fall. Now we get a Rocky IV reference by Stryker, something to do with Drago and Rocky's training in reference to this match. Some of this is like just off the wall comments, just out there left wing comments. It's very odd sometimes. I love Matt Stryker on commentary, but sometimes he just goes way to the left for me. Mundo hits a great looking Spanish fly for a near fall. Both men battle to the top rope moments later. MACK suplexes Mundo off the top rope. Now both men struggle to get back to their feet and eventually end up going back to the top rope. Mundo pokes MACK in the eyes and it sends him to the outside. Now Mundo then hits a great looking corkscrew plancha, but lands badly on his leg and reaches for his ankle. The officials come out to check on Mundo's injury. The match looks like it may be called off, but the MACK isn't going for it. He throws Mundo back inside the ring, and officials get MACK away from Mundo to check on his injury. We lead into commercial break there, and it was a nice little segue to go into commercial. And when we come back from the commercial, the crowd's chanting, "Johnny's crying." Now some fans are chanting, "No, he's not," and the officials are still checking on Mundo and have a stretcher ready to take him out. But as it turns out, and if you know Johnny Mundo at all, Johnny was faking the injury, and he kips up, low blows the MACK, and pins him for his third pinfall. Now he then does jumping jacks in the ring after scoring another pinfall victory to show the fans that he indeed is not injured at all, and he is in the lead 3-1. Now when the MACK gets up, he's ticked off, of course. He's pissed. He grabs a stretcher that was left behind by the trainers and starts to use it as a weapon against Mundo. MACK chases Johnny up the stairs to the the stairs of the temple, and MACK takes down Mundo and slams him on top of the stretcher. He then straps Mundo to the stretcher and sends him down the entire flight of stairs. It was a great visual, great spot of the match. The fans popped loudly for it. It looked cool. You had to have watched the show to really grasp how intense this match was. These guys pulled off this match like not many in history could. Now we move on, and a pretty cool Melissa Santos beer commercial airs during the last break, and it was tied into promoting Lucha Underground, but I forgot what the beer was called. Now, if you've seen Melissa Santos, you know she is a distracting woman. So who gives a shit what the beer was called, because you got a very great commercial of a beautiful woman. Johnny Mundo is trying to get himself out of the stretcher at the bottom of the stairs. MACK flips him over face first, gets to kiss the floor a little bit. Now MACK throws Mundo into the ring. MACK hits the stunner and pins him for his second pinfall of the night. Now it's almost tied up to 3 wins for Johnny Mundo and 2 pinfalls for the MACK. Now the believers in the temple start up a return of the MACK chant in the famous song's tune, and Johnny Mundo crawls under the ring to avoid more damage from the MACK. Now, a man who appears to be Mundo crawls out and runs to the back. The Mac gives chase, and the real Mundo crawls out from under the apron. The Mac happened to be chasing WU member PJ Black. So, just by looking at him, it's very easy to be confused if it was Johnny Mundo running, because from the back, these guys look identical. You know, they got the same hairstyle. They got a bit of a beard going. So it was a nice little tactic played by Johnny Mundo and PJ Black. Now, when he returns, Mundo greets him with a kendo stick. Black and Mundo start a double team and on Mac, but Son of Havoc shows up with sticks of his own and goes after Worldwide Underground. Havoc lays out Mundo and Black taking turns on him. Now, Son of Havoc ends up going to Dario Cueto's office and asks for a beer. Cueto hands him a bottle of water. That's slapped away, and after the fans chant profusely to give him beer, Cueto finally hands Havoc beer, and he pours that over the face of the Mac. Now, the Mac returns, and he gets to caning Mundo and Black with kendo sticks. The Mac and Havoc set up tables at ringside. They play to the crowd, and this leads to Mundo and Black recovering. They attack Mac and Havoc and lay them both out. Johnny Mundo then gets on the mic and asks the in-house mariachi band to play a victory song. One of the band members ends up leaping off the stage onto Mundo and Black. It turns out that it's Sexy Star, and she was playing the maracas in the band. Now, the Mac has now recovered, and time is ticking away. He has two tables set up side by side at ringside. He ends up picking up Mundo, hitting a leaping thunder driver through the tables. The Mac pins Mundo moments later to even the score. So now you have a tied match, 3-3. So we've got like minutes left of the show. What do you think's going to happen? Well, I'm here to tell you. Now, after both men attempt several pinfalls, Mundo and Mac go to get weapons. They help to help them finish the match off. The Mac gets himself a steel ladder. A table is set up at inside the ring. Mundo manages to take down Mac in the ring. He grabs the steel ladder, drapes it across the ropes in the corner. Mundo then slams Mac onto it and covers him for a near fall. The Mac rallies and ends up slamming Mundo into the ladder. 3 minutes are left on the clock. Mac covers Mundo but gets his hands on the bottom rope. Now Mundo Russian leg sweeps Mac onto the ladder, and he follows that up and sets up the Mac for his end of the world finisher, but he misses. 2 minutes now left on the clock. Now the Mac sets up the ladder while Mundo is clutching his left leg after the fall. Mac puts Mundo on the table and then heads to the top of the ladder. 1 minute left as Mac slowly climbs to the top. Ricky Mandel comes out and grabs Mac's leg to prevent him from climbing. Now Havoc and Star return to go after Mandel, and Havoc does a springboard moonsault onto him. With 30 seconds left, the Mac gets to the top of the ladder finally. He hesitates to cover Mundo. When he does, time runs out on the match, and the ref count reaches number 2. The all-night long match ends in a draw, 3-3. Because of time running out, the ref could not make the final 3 count. Exceptionally well done match. Now, Johnny Mundo retains the title as a result of the draw. The crowd's furious. A BS chant rises up, and Dario Cueto makes his way out of the office. Now, Cueto compliments both men, but states that there are no ties in his temple. Now, Cueto says that next week this match will be restarted, and the very next pinfall submission will determine the winner. Cueto says that the match will once again be all night long to determine a winner. Now, Mac and Mundo barely get to their feet as the fans chant, "That was awesome." Matt Striker and Vampiro, went overboard in a good way during the final sequences of the and after the match ended. I like the way they played it out. It really set up the match. They called it well, except for a few weird little comments. But you know what? In the large scheme of things, they did a fantastic job. Now, as the show is winding down, Mack returns inside the ring and hits a stunner on Mundo for extra measure. He then grabs the Lucha Underground World title and poses as the show goes off air. I thought it was nicely done. Next week, I cannot wait to see who will either retain the title or who will become the next Lucha Underground World Champion. That was your Lucha Underground report. Now, if you stayed tuned throughout the episode, please, if you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscription button. Also, hit the little bell so you get notifications every time I upload or live stream. Now, this was my first Lucha Underground report. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to continue covering the shows, and I hope you all are as interested and excited for Lucha Underground as this big guy is right here. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank all my subscribers. I want to thank all my followers on VidMe. And I want to thank you to all the viewers who tune into the show. I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. And I will be streaming Resident Evil 7 later on tonight. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great evening.